Alright, so in this video I'm going to see if I can rekey this the lock for this Givi toolbox to a new key. So I lost the key for this one. These are the keys for my panniers. As you can see, they don't work, so we'll see how we go. So first off, I need to get access to the lock. I've got another video that shows you how to break into these. Much easier way to do it than picking the lock. Alright, so there is the lock mechanism. Now, first step is going to be taking the lock barrel out. I'm just going to find the right spanner. Here it is, 10mm. Now, pressing down on this plate because it is spring loaded. Take the nut and the washer off. Just gently let that go. You can see there's a ball bearing right there, and that's actually on a spring. That's what the spring pressure was. I'll leave that spring in there. And here we go. That spring's popped out. This is the lock barrel. So what I'm going to try and do, as you can see, we put this one in here. This one hopefully should be fairly easy actually. Before I lost the key, and in fact you can see the key codes here. So the key code for this key is 0300GI, and the code for the lock is 0760GI. And those codes do indicate the tumblers. Now I think, as we can see here, if you're not aware of how a lock works, basically these little plates here connect to pins inside which fit into the keyway here. What happens when you put the key in, if it's the correct key, they retract so they line up there, and that allows the key to turn in the barrel. But if they don't, if they protrude, then it won't allow it to turn. So what I think I'll be able to do here is, you can see I've got these two here. I should just be able to pull them out. Means the key will be slightly less secure in that it'll be easier to pick, but that's not really something I care about, because yeah, if someone wants to get into this toolbox, they'll get in. The lock's really just there as a convenience thing. So now I've watched a few videos on this, but I've never actually done this before. But I think I'll just be able to pull this lock plate out. So we'll see. Can I just pull that out? Nope, I can't. I wonder whether I have to pull it out the other way. Nope, that didn't work. Let me try. Oh, there we go. Just needed a little bit more force. And there should be a tiny little spring. Yeah. So that is the lock plate. Here is the tiny spring. That tiny spring sits underneath that shoulder, and that's what sort of presses it out. So now put that in there, and we've just got this one. So this one right here. So let's try pulling this one out. Didn't quite get it. I see. This one comes out the other direction. So if I pull it from this side, there we go, it comes out. Drop the spring out. Alright. So I've just got these two here. Just going to check whether I need to take those two out. Okay, I think I do. So let's pop. That's the second last one. I'll get the spring out for that. Now, of course, these last two plates I didn't really keep track of which one was which isn't ideal, but then I've lost the key for this lock anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's try that again. It still won't turn, so I think I need to take this last one out here. So, yep, that one comes out this side. Got to take the key out first. Silly me. Yep, there we go. Alright. There we go. That now works. But I'll just check with another key which does not fit. Yep, that one. It still won't turn with this other key. Alright. So that is the lock rekeyed by virtue of I just took out 4 of these plates, which of course does reduce the security of the lock, but as I said, really doesn't matter for a lock like this, because it's much easier to break in to the case just bypass the lock entirely. Okay, so now to put it back together, put that cylinder back in there, pop the spring back in there, the ball bearing. Now clean a bit of that dirt off. These holes are the detents, so I think we want it to be there. So this is in the unlocked position at the moment. Just tighten this up and double check. Okay, so that's locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked. Got to muck around a bit with the tension here. If this nut is tightened down too much, it puts too much pressure on this spring detent, which makes it more difficult. Have I got that the right way around? I don't, because it should detent in the locked position as well. Oops, and the ball bearing dropped out. It's always a bit tricky. These things are a bit fiddly. Now, did I do this the right way? Yep, there we go. So, spring detent there, that's in the locked position. Now it's in the unlocked position and the spring detent's in that hole. Alright, so I think I'm just going to put a bit of Loctite on there because there's not a whole lot of tension. Just a dab of Loctite. There we go. These things are subject to quite a lot of vibration, so you do want something to stop it coming loose. Yeah, that tension, maybe I'll back it off just a smidge. Yeah, that feels about right. Okay, now to pop it back together. I tried for quite some time to pick this lock, but I had a lot of trouble. So instead I found a much easier way to break into it, which was in another video that I posted, just a short one. But yeah, because these, if we have a look at these reed plates, this pin right here is what engages with the cutouts in the key. So rather than with a traditional lock where the tumblers stick up from the bottom, these ones stick up from the side, so it just makes it a bit harder to pick them, which is, I guess, a selling point for them. All right. So pop that's in the locked position. There we go, all done. So yeah, that's an easy way to rekey these locks, provided you've got lock barrels that are relatively similar in number. It's not going to work for all. I did try and find somewhere that would supply these lock plates. I could not find. There are a whole bunch of automotive keys that have very similar looking lock plates, but none that were the same shape. So yeah, I don't know if you can buy a kit of these. They call them reeds, lock reeds. If anyone knows what type these reeds are and where you can buy them, I'd very much love it if you could add it into the comments, because yeah, that would be useful to be able to rekey. Thankfully, the key codes were fairly similar between this toolbox and my panniers, but if I was to buy a new top box using a Givi top box using the same locks, chances are the lock's going to be sufficiently different that I'm not going to be able to rekey it to use the same key as I've got existing, unless I've got a supply of these reeds which I can sub in and test out and get right. So yes, if anyone has any leads on what these are and where you can buy these particular types of reeds, please add it into a comment. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching.